Hey gorgeous, this is episode number 284. You are listening to Heart Sells Podcast. I'm your host Christine Schlonski and it is Variety Friday. I'm so excited you're here. I hope you had a wonderful, successful, happy week. And today I really want to share with you a topic that, well, let's say that I have challenges with from time to time. And when we look at sales from a holistic point of view, it's not just, how we make sales or how we make those connections and how we build those relationships. There's so much more to it. And one piece of it is actually our personal health and well-being. And I don't know if that sounds familiar, but sometimes I just get carried away with all the projects that are going on for Heart Sells, for the podcast, for my clients, for, future creations. And then sometimes I probably work way too much. And finding that harmony is something that I'm working on right now. So maybe you can relate as well. But what actually happens when we overwork is our body tells us to stop. And that has just happened to me. And instead of pushing my new project, because I was so super excited about it, and I'm going to let you in on that secret, I'm going to do a workshop in German for German clients the very first time. Not just for German clients, like for the entrepreneurs in Germany, because I have noticed that here in the market, there is nobody really teaching how to sell from the heart. It's male dominated when it comes to teachings on how to sell. And it's something that I noticed that people struggle with as heart-centered entrepreneurs, as coaches, as consultants, as authors, as healers, as speakers. And I just saw that huge gap. And I also noticed, even though my soulmate client, as I talked about a lot of times, speaks English, I might have discovered a second soulmate client that just doesn't speak English that fluently. And a person who might be totally heart-centered, totally into what I have to teach, but they cannot follow in English. Or, they have a hard time following in English. And as we know, if something becomes too difficult, you probably don't go for the information in a language that you don't speak. So I decided to do a 5-day workshop in German for German-speaking people. And I was so super excited and got carried away, and I worked a lot. And then all of a sudden, this past week, my body kind of shut off. I really, really felt sick, even though there was no possibility of me being sick actually, because I know I didn't get any viruses, or I don't have any bacteria in my body that are not supposed to be there. So it was really interesting to watch, and I have experienced that before. I have to admit that whenever a stress level gets pretty high and I do not notice, I do not take the care of myself that I should be taking, my body just tells me enough is enough. So maybe you can relate. And as we know, our logical mind and obviously our hearts tell us, well, we should be our number one priority, but then sometimes we forget. So I wanted to dedicate this episode on best practices for self-care, for really making sure you get what you need, what your body needs, and you are having harmony in your life in regards to the work you put in, even though you might be totally excited about it, like I am, or the other stuff in your life that's important, but you might be neglecting it. For me, spending quality time with my husband or spending more times with my furry animals, that's something I haven't really put in focus over the past weeks. So this is kind of a confession as well. And it's also a learning that I think is so important, because as heart-centered entrepreneurs, when we do find something that we're so passionate about and we feel our mission and we're really driven, this can basically happen. So please don't go down that path where this happens to you. So what I have decided, and I probably needed a reminder, so I did get one. I need to put on more, don't need to put on breaks. I need to put in more breaks, right? I need to make sure that I exercise more, that I eat healthier, and that I really have times where I know, well, I'm shutting off my PC now. This is the finish of my day. Even though it feels like I could go for another couple hours, and I'm so excited in creating something and in being in conversation with people about something, I really need to put those boundaries in place. And I highly recommend you look at your daily workload and you do the same, because we do get carried away, but only when we are in a really good shape, like in the best shape possible. We will be selling more. We will have more impact. We will be able to deliver more because we have more energy. We don't allow ourselves to run out of energy and run into not well-being. So 3 things I am committed to, and I hope you find 3 things yourself, is once I will be going out more on walks in nature. I've been pretty good, but over the last couple of weeks, I kind of left those out and I did more journaling and then getting into my work, which was exciting, but not really helpful. So I'm going to do more walks in nature, that's for sure. And I also will dedicate some time in the afternoon for a little nap, just not to do anything. And if I don't do a nap, maybe I go for a second walk, or maybe I have a quality conversation with my husband, or maybe I go and cuddle the dogs, like something that's not work related. And I will make sure that I allow my brain to shut off for a moment, thinking about work-related things. And then the third thing is that I will find a day within the next couple weeks or so to really get a massage or to go to the spa or something where I can totally be by myself, not having any conversations, where I can meditate, where I can relax, probably going to take a good book to read, but like something that takes me out of my environment, something that puts me into a different environment so that I also move my body out of my home environment where I have my office. So I think that's something that's really, really needed. And if you are building your business, I'm quite certain that you will be running into these challenges because we get so excited, because we love what we do, that sometimes we just work a little bit too much. And this can actually end up in, causing your body to give you feelings that you do not want to feel, that causes you to stop working. I literally spent 2 days in bed, which is totally not typical for me, but I could not move. My head felt like it's exploding and my stomach hurt. And it was not nice, right? So this is what happens when we feel stress that we do not allow to feel. And that's like my explanation for it, because I still haven't really figured out what was going on, but I know that it came from my brain and that I over-exaggerated in working and creating this workshop and coming up with all the ideas, in having my team involved, explaining my mission and stuff. So this has been a really good learning experience, because the better care we take of ourselves, the more we can give. And it has been such a great reminder that I wanted to share this with you, because this week Susie Carter shared such important information on how to create wealth, on how to make a lot of money while serving other people. And I think doing all these things also requires having boundaries in place and making sure that you take really, really great care of yourself so that you are in a state that you have high energy and that you really can serve your tribe because you have taken great care of yourself, right? If your cup is empty, you cannot give. This is the same for money as it is for your personal health and well-being. So please make sure you look at sales holistically. You look at your life as, one thing, and it's not in little compartments like this is work, this is private, this is friends, this is whatever. Like it's one thing. So what do you need to do that this one thing works at its best? That life serves you and that you can go for your dreams and make them true. Also, while being happy and healthy. Because without health, you cannot do what you want to do. And life is just not worth what it is if you're really suffering all the time. So there are little tricks, little steps you can do daily, like a walk in nature, that is not demanding a lot of time, but it helps you to clear your brain. It helps you to connect to where you came from. And I would just want to invite you to have a look at your work, at your life, at the boundaries you have put in place, and really make a conscious decision of what you're going to tolerate and accept and what's from now on unacceptable. What do you need to cut out? What do you need to stop? And what do you need to put in place instead? So I really, really hope this was helpful for you. I would love to know, what are your self-love practices? Write me an email to info@christineschlonski.com, and I would love to learn what you are doing in your life that gives you energy and excitement. Hop on over to christineschlonski.com, find the podcast tab. There you will find all the episodes with the transcripts, the show notes, the resources. And I will be also linking the wonderful Heart-Centered Lead Generation Summit, The Experience, to this episode so that you can listen to 40 different experts on lead generation, which will probably also help you to make life easier when you pick one of those strategies that you can go for to get more leads, more potential soulmate clients into your programs or conversations so that you can ensure you have a thriving business by filling your programs, by filling your coaching, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for having been here. Again, hop on over to christineschlonski.com, find the podcast tab, and I am looking forward to share next week's amazing podcast guest. That's Gabe Arnold, and we are having a wonderful conversation that you should not be missing. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this beautiful world, and I'm saying bye for now.